So I want to talk today about something that occurred here a couple of days ago. We had a major snowstorm here in Massachusetts, and as part of it, we had a situation with the horses where three of the horses, Jessie the big draft, Cutter here, and Kayla, were in this barn. And Shana, the gray that's hiding in the back there right now, yes, she's hiding, she was left out. And she was out in the stall. And I had watched from the house that this guy here had pestered her, Shana, quite a bit, and was very much, when she would try to come in, he would chase her out and keep her really sequestered from everybody. So what I did is, because we've had this situation with Cutter before, that he sometimes gets very pushy. Now be careful, don't get your nose in this, baby. It's too hot. Cutter. Good girl. What happens is that he can get very strong sometimes, and in this case it was really a snowstorm and she was wet and she was outside, and I was like, well, we hadn't done any kind of boundary setting work lately, so when I asked him to basically respect my space, and I did actually things like this, and I don't know if you could just see that, but he responded just like that, like, whoa, what's going on with that? And when he came back into my space or started pushing her still around, I did even a little bit more of this, and as you can see, look at that, how he responds. Now here's the interesting thing, that in itself is not such a big deal, except that today, 2 days later, he's still that responsive. And I can do this with both of these girls, and they're like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. So I realized today, this morning, I was like, I don't like that. I don't want my horse to be afraid of me, but I do want him to respect, obviously, my space. Good job. All right, girls. Come in. I know. Hi. So what I know is he doesn't like this space because it feels very lonely. It's like people that they feel isolated, and often people feel isolated when they isolate themselves. I know that myself. When I'm insecure or not sure how to respond to something, what I do is I retreat. And that's what he's doing. He's just like, no, I just go somewhere else. I'd rather not be around this because I don't know how I should handle myself, because last time he handled himself, he thinks he got in trouble. All I said, like, come on, be a little more respectful about everybody around you. And that's really all that we did. And root chakra closed, second closed, third, fourth. Just a little bit, because he is talking. Makes sense. He's talking a little like, I'm not liking this. This one is actually open. This one is shut. Alright, so let me see what I can what popped into my mind is sacred frankincense. And as always, I let him come to the oil. He went from right to left, dropped his head, wiggling his nose. So there was definitely a little bit something happening, giving Kayla a little bit of a nudge. I'm going to just let him sit with that for a minute. So now he's licking and chewing. He's wiggling his nose, rubbing his nose actually on something to start wiggle and get some release there. He's breathing. Okay. And now he's like, hey, what's with those oils? Let me see them. So I'm going to be like, all right. See, there, he's still flighty. I mean, this is a horse that is not afraid of much. So he's still like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'm thinking maybe he wants to pick an oil. You want to pick one? You want to pick your own oil? So now you can see, I hope you can see, the pendulum is totally at a different speed already. And much bigger, and it's still, as I'm going on to the points, it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, who's right behind him watching this whole process? Because she is the energy. Hi. Well, there you are. Well, that's my horse right there. Shana is the energy leader in this, or energy balancer, not leader, in this herd. And when his energy here is off, she's like, oh my God, what the heck? I can only do so much. Look at this, and look at this. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is, it's almost like I can feel, it's like sloughing off. So I'm going to ask right now, is there anything else Kara needs? No. Like no other oil he needs. So I'm going to put my pendulum away. And I'm just going to hang with him here for a minute. He just passed some gas, which is not unusual because he's releasing and his stomach is probably chilling out again a little bit. And what I, of course, want to try is, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to have to see, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow morning when I come back out. I'm going to try to do this again because that will be my indicator. If he's not responding to my, like this, I mean, he's already good in the back here, then I think we're back. If he is still responsive to it, I think we just need to do a little bit more. I'm doing this right now because he likes his butt scratched and petted and touched. Again, root chakra, you know, that's survival for them. And he was in survival mode with his little panic attack there. So I'm going to just let this take it all off so he doesn't need to do anymore. And I'm going to leave him alone right now. And now we're going to see if he actually just chills, which he might. He is releasing more gas right now. And we're going to just watch what he does. And he might either chill and I'm going to leave him alone, or he might come over and then I'm going to give him the opportunity to reconnect with me. But in the meantime, I'm just going to quickly check in with these girls because now he's back in balance and now these girls need to be also checked for, you know, where they're at. So I'm going to just do Shauna's little... Let that be really good. So she just, that striping across, usually for her is already enough because she is so all about having her whole brain available, and that's one of her favorite things. So she was already like, oh, back into place, everything is kind of moving along. So that's already fabulous. So we'll see what she thinks she's passing gas. See, I'm just putting the pendulum on her and she's like passing gas, shaking her head. Just hang with me. Hang with me for a second. Hang with me. Whoops. Just hang. Just let me show the people. You might not need it, I get it. But I want to show people what this is like. So just hang for a second. So the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's done. That's why she was like, don't even bother. It's so often that I can tell now by my horses and they're like, you're doing something we don't even need right now because we already adjusted. First of all, she has been licking my hand, which has Cutter's oils on it, so that could have already adjusted her. His energy can adjust hers. Look at her. This is how stressed she was because he wasn't well. And she's now like, oh my God, thank God we're back. Because that's really stressful. I think people sometimes don't know how one horse's not well-being can affect the herd, even in these, you know, domestic backyard settings. So, wow, that crazy. What a crazy scene. Hi. Hey, puppy. Oh, you know you're jealous. But see, he's back. How good is that? How good is that? Hey, sugar, what's up?
She's hi.
So yeah, now Kayla's sticking her nose in the oil. So we're gonna just check with her. Hey, Kayla, girl, let me just do the swipe. First before her. Come here. I know you don't know. Good girl. 5 to 6 times. Let it sit for one. Oh. That's what we are now getting. The two of them grooming one another. This is 2 days ago, he wasn't beating her up, but he was not being very kind. I can tell you that much. He was just really keeping her out of the space. And now they're like, oh, back together. And these two are not usually tight. Cutter is much more connected with Kayla. This is now again a herd, and I'm in it with them, being part of the family again. And, having like a harmonic or harmonized way of being with one another. Hi, baby. There you go. He's smelling, Kayla's smelling. He likes fennel too, I think. Has a licorice effect, so they usually like it. But this shows you, so the whole point of this is really to show you that one horse's not well-being is affecting all of them. And it is really, you silly boy. And it's really important to me to help Cutter now change this pattern. So my plan is, next time when he gets that bossy, which he can get, and it is his job to some degree, but if he gets too bossy, I'm going to actually try a different tactic. Instead of setting strong boundaries with him, I'm actually going to look at him as a bully that needs attention and that is maybe insecure, and so I'm going to see if I can actually try a different leadership technique. I'm not 100% sure yet how I'm going to do it because it's going to have to happen in the moment, but I'm going to tell you about it when I do, and hopefully I'll learn something new about him and a better way so that he doesn't have to be in this out-of-body panic, because that's just not a good place to be. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time out in the field. All right, so we are going to check up on Cutter. This is the part 2 to yesterday's chakra balancing, where, Cutter had felt alienated after he alienated Shana. Now he felt alienated by me setting some boundaries with him. They all came back together, if you recall, and ended up grooming and big love fest in the barn. So I want to see how he feels today and if he's still in a good place about our adjustment and balance yesterday. Hi. Oh, hello. Who's that cute girl? Pretty snowy out here. So when I go out to meet with the animals, I usually wait and let them come to me. I try not to immediately rush out, and because I know my energy often is much higher, vibrates on a much higher level than their energy. Listen, if I come with my human fastness to them, it often creates, almost in them a little, whoa, let's just take this in for a minute. And I've learned from actually a horse, one of my clients' horses, Xander, that he shared with me that you really, as a human, should get your frequency aligned with the horse way at the house, way when you first start out coming towards the barn. And this is Shauna, this is her thing. She always wants her butter up. That's just what she always asks. And I believe actually she has a lot of hind end weakness, and somehow this helps her being more connected to her hind end, is my belief. But anyway, so I try to match up frequencies, and as I'm petting her and I'm connecting with her like this, we're also matching. We're starting to breathe more in sync and more together. So here's Cutter choosing by himself to come over. As you remember, maybe yesterday he actually more or less ran away from me. And so now I'm gonna also just try a little bit to see how he responds in general. Hi. Hi, baby. How's my little boy? Hi. So just by smelling his breath and feeling his breath, my whole body just went like, oh, okay, I need to take another breath myself, because just by talking, I'm breathing much faster. So if I do this right now, this was my little test. He's actually just now like, what's Kayla doing? Nothing. So, matter of fact, he's like, huh, what? What do you want? Hi. So I'm so excited. He feels much better, much better to me. So this was definitely a success. Oh my God, the camera is being shook up by a horsey. Shauna is attacking the kitties in the background. What? What do you want? So I took this actually as him saying like, just hold your hand still, just stop for a second. So I'm just gonna listen to that. And again, this is actually another lesson right here for you guys to understand. This is about connecting. This is a great example of us not always doing. You saw me going immediately to petting him and all this stuff, and sometimes they're just like, just stop and just be with me. Why are you people always so busy? Don't be human doings, be human beings. And then he can also give, right? If I'm always giving, he can never give. And then what do? We end up monologuing again and not being in a dialogue with them. And that was his thing. He's like, all right, licking your hand, connecting. And there it is. That's all we needed. That's all he wanted. Now, we could stop right here. However, I did bring my pendulum, and I wanted to just check him out. So I'm gonna do the swipe across the forehead. No, actually I'm not. I'm gonna just see if he maintained himself the way it was. So, root chakra is open. Second chakra. Third chakra. Fourth chakra. Fifth chakra. Oops. 6. It's hard to, especially when they're done this. There you go. There you go. 6. Yeah, this helps. 7, and let's just do 6 again for people to see. There you go. So he maintained it overnight, which is great, and we're already halfway through the next day. So I think this is great, and this doesn't mean it will stay like this. He might get spooked by some turkey flying out of the woods, and that puts him back into flight, and he might be again out of bounds, but that's usually I will notice, and then I'll help him again come into balance if he can't figure it out himself. Sometimes they get into balance by rolling. In the snow right now, they don't roll as much. Another way of bringing themselves into balance is if they shake and, which is often what they do after rolling, but sometimes they just do it by standing quietly. And sometimes it's just by me putting my hand on them or standing quietly like he just asked. Who knows, that might have been putting him right back into a good place. So as you can see, there is really a lot to us paying attention and taking responsibility for having our horses be in a good place in a domestic setting where they are kind of they're what's the word I'm looking for? They are dependent on us, and we put them in this space and we provide the best we can, but sometimes they need a little extra help, and that's what we did last night, and he's feeling good about it still today. So I'll see you next time in the field.